Okay, so have you ever pictured yourself like actually coordinating a massive music festival? Or like maybe even orchestrating one of those high stakes tech conferences?
Yeah, those are huge.
I know, right? So today's deep dive, well, we're going to throw open the doors to the world of event managers.
Nice.
We're talking about what they really do, behind the scenes stuff, the skills that actually set them apart.
Right?
And, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the career path you've been like secretly searching for.
It could be.
And don't worry, we're not messing around here. We're diving deep into some really good insights from RoleCatcher.
Okay, yeah.
They're a career development platform,
Yep.
and we're using their event manager career guide, their interview prep materials that they have, and even like a little sneak peek at how their platform is actually like changing things up for job seekers.
How cool. I like that. I think what's so fascinating about this whole field is that it's honestly about so much more than just planning the office party.
Yeah, for sure.
The RoleCatcher guide, it lays out a huge range of events, and we're talking everything from these massive music festivals, product launches.
Huge.
I know, right?
Mhm.
To like intimate charity galas and even online summits.
Wow. Okay.
There's a surprising amount of variety, wouldn't you say?
Totally. Yeah, way more than I even like thought about at the beginning. But let's be real, the guide doesn't like try to hide the demanding side of it all.
Right.
Long hours, high pressure situations,
Yeah.
last minute changes. It sounds kind of wild.
Yeah, it does.
But then it also talks about the creative freedom, the problem solving,
Right.
and, at the end of the day, the satisfaction of actually pulling off these huge events.
Totally.
So how does that balance actually like work in the real world? Is it just like you thrive under all that pressure?
Yeah.
Or are those long nights and crazy deadlines like as intense as they sound?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guide really stresses that you need a certain personality type to not just handle that kind of pressure, but to actually like feed off of it.
Oh,
To find that sweet spot where a challenge becomes really exciting.
I like that.
And speaking of challenges, one thing that really jumped out to me was how important communication and negotiation skills are. Those are crucial in this line of work.
Which makes sense when you think about it. You're dealing with tons of different personalities,
Oh, yeah.
clients with their vision,
Yes.
vendors with all the logistics,
Yep.
attendees with their expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're conducting an orchestra, but instead of instruments, you've got caterers,
Uh-huh.
AV technicians,
Hmm.
security, even like the entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And that actually brings us to another point the guide makes, which is the growing role of technology in event management.
Right. They mention everything from event management software and VR
Yes.
to AR booths and live streaming.
It's a far cry from the days of like paper invitations and just like hoping the caterer shows up.
I know, right?
So are all these new tech tools just trendy add-ons?
Yeah.
Or are they becoming a must-have for event managers today?
They're definitely becoming essential, and the RoleCatcher guide, it really highlights this shift. Think about it. We're seeing virtual conferences where people from all over the world can join in remotely.
Yeah.
Hybrid events that blend in person and online.
Cool.
And even interactive elements like AR booths and live polling to get people more engaged.
I love that.
Event managers today, they need to be comfortable not just using these tools, but really understanding how they can take an event to the next level and help achieve those client goals. It's not just about logistics anymore. It's about using tech to create those immersive and memorable experiences.
So it sounds like the tech landscape is constantly evolving, which means event managers need to be like incredibly adaptable and always down to learn new things.
Always learning, definitely.
So we've established that event management is a diverse field
For sure.
that demands a really unique blend of creativity, organization, and that tech savviness. Definitely.
But what does it actually take to build a successful career in this world?
Yeah.
What skills and qualifications are essential? Let's unpack that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Oh, you're so right. Adaptability is so important. And when it comes to building a successful career in event management, the RoleCatcher guide really dives into those specific skills and qualifications that make all the difference. Of course, having the right degree,
Right.
event management, hospitality, marketing, it's valuable,
Yeah.
but it's not everything.
Right, because experience is key in a field like this.
Right.
You can't just learn how to handle a last-minute venue change from a textbook.
Exactly. The guide really stresses that hands-on experience. And not just any experience, but the kind that lets you build a killer portfolio.
Okay, so.
Internships with event planning companies,
Gotcha.
volunteering at festivals, conferences, even organizing smaller events for your community.
Oh, nice.
Things like that.
So it's really about proving that you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. And speaking of walking the walk, the guide also highlights certifications, specifically the CMP Certified Meeting Professional
Okay.
and the CSEP, that's the Certified Special Events Professional. These are globally recognized,
Wow.
and they show employers you're serious.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a stamp of approval from the event management gurus. But okay, here's something I thought was really interesting. The guide puts a ton of emphasis on active listening as a core skill,
Right.
even more than some technical skills, which I thought was really interesting. They actually put a 57% emphasis on it.
Wow.
I know, that's a lot. That's huge for something that on the surface doesn't seem as directly related, right?
Yeah.
To like, I don't know, mastering some event software or something. So what's the connection? Why is being a good listener so important for a successful event?
It really comes down to understanding the needs and expectations of everyone involved.
Okay.
Active listening helps you pick up on those little cues,
Right.
anticipate those issues before they even come up, and really tailor the event to just blow those expectations out of the water. It's about asking the right questions, really hearing the answers,
Yeah.
and using that information to create a successful event.
So it's not just about checking things off a list. It's more about understanding the why behind every decision.
Yes.
And making sure that everyone feels heard and valued.
Exactly.
That's huge.
And this emphasis on that human element, it carries over into the interview process, too. Speaking of which, we had these really insightful interview prep materials from RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah.
And what I found so fascinating is they're designed to help candidates tailor their responses to that specific job and company.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just like a general tell me about your strengths and weaknesses kind of prep.
Nope.
It seems way more strategic than that. Does this reflect a bigger trend in the job market now? Is there more emphasis on fit over just general experience these days?
Absolutely. Employers want people with the right skills.
Right.
But also, they need to mesh with the company culture.
Their values, the specific, needs of the role. It's like they're looking for that missing puzzle piece,
Right.
that not only has the skills, but also just fits the whole picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of fitting into a bigger picture, that makes me think about another cool thing about RoleCatcher. It's not just like a job board, right?
Right.
It's a whole career management system. It's like having a, career coach in your back pocket at all times.
Love that. Yeah.
What does this even tell us about how people are, approaching their careers? Even outside of event management, I think this is interesting.
Yeah, it shows a real shift in how we think about work. I mean, it used to be all about that straight line, right? Start here, up the ladder you go, retire, the end.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it's so much more dynamic. People want options. They want new challenges. And they're always leveling up their skills. Platforms like RoleCatcher, they're a response to that, I think.
Okay, yeah.
They give you the tools to take charge of your own career no matter what you do.
So it's less about fitting into some, pre-made mold.
Yeah.
More about, creating your own path.
Exactly. And one thing RoleCatcher is really big on is this idea of beating the automated recruiter, which is kind of, both cool, but also a little scary.
Yeah, for sure.
They talk about how they help you stand out to algorithms.
Yeah,
So a real person actually sees your resume.
I see. Does that even mean that the human element, the personal touch, especially in a field like this, is at risk of being replaced by bots?
It's a good question. Technology can definitely make certain things easier,
Yeah.
like finding people based on keywords.
Yeah, yeah.
But it can't, replace actual human qualities.
Right.
The things that make a great event manager. You can't program the ability to read a room or anything like that.
You really can't, no.
Adapt to surprises,
Yeah.
build those relationships. You need that for success in this field.
Totally. It's good to know that those skills are still important.
Oh, yeah.
Even with all this new technology. So we've talked about a lot.
We have.
Budgeting,
Yep.
negotiation, problem solving, active listening. These are useful in any job.
Absolutely.
What does this tell us about, transferable skills, even if you aren't trying to be an event planner?
It means your skills and experience, even from totally different jobs, are valuable.
Yeah.
If you know how to talk about them the right way.
Right.
Being able to communicate well, manage your time, adapt to change,
Hmm.
solve problems. These are wanted in any industry. I don't care what it is.
Right.
Realizing you already have those skills, that's powerful, no matter what your career goals are.
It's like connecting the dots, right?
Yeah,
Between what you've learned and what they need.
exactly.
So as we close the doors on these perfectly planned conferences and awesome festivals,
Yeah.
what's your, I don't know, what's your big takeaway here? For me, it's that active listening thing.
Right.
It's not just for event management, it's for life. It's about really hearing people, understanding them. That can lead to, stronger relationships. It's
Yeah.
more empathy
Definitely.
and just a better life, I think. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep